Good morning, readers. Today we are going to talk about inferring. Go ahead and get out your reading, learning, intention sheet. Fill in the date, the book that you are reading, and today that would be your book club book. And today as a reader, I am working on inferring as I read. Readers, we all infer as we read, but we also infer every day. Before we talk about how to infer, we need to know what an inference is. So, an inference is pretty simple. It's when you take clues from the text and what you already know and put them together and make a conclusion. So, clues from the text, what you already know, come to a conclusion. We're going to do a little practice because, as I said, we not only infer in books, but we infer in life. I want you to take a look at this picture, and I want you to make an inference about what is happening. So think for a second, and then give me a thumb up when you have an idea. Readers, your ideas about what is happening are inferences. There's no text around here telling us what is happening. But if I were to make an inference about this picture, I would think that they're in a race and that this person in the front is possibly winning the race, and this person to the side maybe fell over, this one right here, and all of these people over here are watching the race. Let's try a picture. Turn and talk to your partner about what's happening in this picture. Again, friends, these are inferences that you are making. No one told you what happened. There isn't anything written around this picture about what happened. You, on your own, are making an inference. So you're taking what you already know and then clues, and in this case, instead of a text or a book, it's a picture. We're going to do the same thing with this text. This is the next part of Edward Tulane. In the morning the sun rose, and the cricket song gave way to the bird song, and an old woman came walking down the dirt road and tripped right over Edward. She said. She pushed at Edward with her fishing pole. Looks like a rabbit, she said. She put down her basket and bent and stared at Edward. Only he ain't real. She stood back up. She said again. She rubbed her back. What I say is, there's a use for everything, and everything has its use. That's what I say. Readers, as I read this, I made an inference. I noticed that the text said that she had a fishing pole in her hand. I'm going to infer from that she just went fishing. It doesn't tell me that she went fishing, but I'm going to infer that. Let's try doing this more. This is the next page. Edward didn't care what she said. The terrible ache he had felt the night before had gone away and had been replaced with a different feeling, one of hollowness and despair. Pick me up, or don't pick me up, the rabbit thought. It makes no difference to me. The old lady picked him up. She bent him double and put him in her basket, which smelled of weeds and fish. And then she kept walking, swinging the basket and singing, Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Edward, in spite of himself, listened. I've seen troubles too, he thought. You bet I have, and apparently they aren't over yet. Edward was right. His troubles were not over. The old woman found a use for him. She hung him from a pole in her vegetable garden. She nailed his velvet wooden ears to a pole and spread his arms out as if he were flying and attached his paws to the pole by wrapping. I'm going to stop right there. Friends, I want you to think. Right here it says that she's nailing him to a pole over his garden. I want you to think about this, and I want you to make an inference about what she is using Edward for right here. When you have an idea, turn and tell your partner. Readers, I think that she is using him as a scarecrow. Again, we're making an inference as we read. Today, as you go off, you are going to do this same work. You are going to make inferences as you read. So, your first thing that you are going to do is read your book club book. And everyone should be reading that book club book because we just decided what we were reading yesterday, and you were given specific instructions to make sure that you gave yourself enough reading to do, so you should definitely still have more reading in your book club book to do. You're going to infer as you read. That means you're going to put what you know together with what's written in the text, and then you are going to write about your book club book. Remember, yesterday we talked about writing long off of a Post-it. I want to show you this example of writing long. What you're doing is you are taking a Post-it, you're using the Growing Ideas chart, and you're writing more. You're thinking about what else you can say. You're using evidence from the text. Readers, let's make it a great reading day.